Pork and chicken was great.
I'd like to just watch that instead of podcasts.
Let's do a podcast where we just watch.
What are you guys talking about? We're not. Shut up. We're watching Pork and Chicken. Do you want to watch it with us? You can do those watch parties on YouTube. You can I don't know the point of that. Why you're watching it, I'm watching it. I don't know. It's like a Dutch rudder. You're doing it, I'm doing it, but no one's touching each other. It's totally okay. That's the YouTube watch party in a nutshell.
Some people are into that. I don't know.
Oh, come on, YouTube. Get with the program here. Internet's been a pain in the butt lately. It says we're live here, so I trust it, but I also
was going to say
trust but validate. Here it is.
Yep. There she goes.
There we go. Well, you get the little notey.
I do.
Because you're
live with Bryce.
Did I spell it wrong?
No, you didn't. No,
oh my God.
Right.
Give me a heart attack, dude.
I was just being an
I was like, oh no, we're live, and I officially effed it up. It's been 2 seconds. Jesus.
This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag. You hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Welcome back to the Okayest Hunter podcast. I don't know why I had a weird space there, but
Hunter podcast.
Everything we do is weird.
Oh.
Nothing is normal. I don't have there's clearly no script. Because every week I change up the intro because you would think I haven't been doing this for a decade.
I think you're just bored subconsciously, so you just tries to mess with it every time.
Every intro is like the first time I've ever done it.
Makes it unique. Stand us out instead of just being the same stuff every day.
There's when I was making the intro back when this was the Where to Hunt podcast, I had my buddy Shane over because he was like the person I could figure out the IT stuff back then, and I didn't know anything. And I was like, should I say where... the podcast or the podcast that blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh man, I don't know. So we're like, really, this is before AI. So I was like, Googling, like, what does it matter? Does it mean something different? Does it give a different vibe? And so I think I started saying the podcast instead of the podcast. And then so in the middle of recording it, my brain decided to be like, I forgot what we decided. So I was like, welcome to the fuck. There's a big F-bomb right in the beginning. Sorry, kids. But it was like, yeah, it wasn't ideal to have that happen the first go around. So
what do you say
cursed
now? I just heard it, but I don't remember. Do you say the Okayest?
I don't say anything like that anymore.
You had to have.
No, welcome to the okay. I say the. Because it's like way more chill.
Somewhere down to earth. Nonchalant.
Yeah. Yeah. What did I hear? If you're not down to earth, the world will bring you down to earth, kind of thing. Kind of like, don't get your ego too pumped up, or like someone's gonna knock you down.
These sounds like we should be sipping tea instead of bourbon and get our pinkies out.
Might be better for us. It'd probably have a better show. we'd be like the Hunter podcast then. Hey, those guys are nice fellas, I think, but there's an error to that.
Are you saying hundreds of thousands of people would watch us?
I don't know. How do they rack up so many views? I think they've gotten really good at SEO on YouTube, and they have such great guests and controversial topics.
We have great guests.
Yeah. They have like these names though.
Yeah.
And
they're hitting all the whatever is going to be the clickbait of the month kind of thing.
Yeah, and I see that and I'm like, I just don't want to play that. It feels like a game.
You've always been anti that, which I've thought was really, like
it's like a
virtuous.
It feels like a race to the bottom, even though they're at the top.
Secretly, we're winning the race to the bottom.
We just like to stay at the bottom. We're not racing. We're already here. We sunk a long time ago. Welcome to the show, Bryce.
Welcome.
We're brought to you by Nosler. Nosler.com, code OHP will save you 20% off your ammunition, but not your car insurance. Other partners, Latitude, Rack Hub, KwikTrip, and Gerber Gear. Got the sign behind Derek over there for the Gerber Gear. Usually there's knives littered in here, but I've been putting them to use so they're not on the table.
You got one.
I have to give you a bunch of I have some Gerber stickers to give you. Don't let me forget before you walk out. And an Okayest Hunter hat.
Oh, sweet.
So we'll let you walk out with some stuff. Usually Derek gets all the goodies, but not today, buddy.
It's like a grocery store. I come out with just gobs of stuff. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I have no talk track for this episode other than I'll set the stage and we'll just like wind this thing up and see where it takes us.
All right.
But you're a Sussex, Wisconsin native.
Yep.
you'll have to tell the listeners how you came to learn about us. But in your learning about us, somewhere along the way, we met you at Foam Fest.
Yep.
I believe. We may have corresponded before that, but I remember meeting you at Foam Fest specifically. That was like a moment.
That's the first time I met you. I met Greg and Matt at a ice fishing tournament that didn't end up happening because the ice was too melted.
Okay.
So was that one of the BHA events?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
BHA icebreaker on Lake Koshkonong.
Okay. So how did you meet him if it didn't happen?
They still held a banquet.
That's right.
Then no one fished.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just
a lot of fun.
I'm just being an asshole. I've met him at an ice fishing banquet. That never happened. I'm a stalker. I'm just kidding.
That's the good thing. When ice fishing doesn't work out, you can just go regular fishing because there's no ice.
Exactly.
You could just go to a bar, which is what you would do anyways when you're ice fishing because you got to get warmed up.
It was.
That's literally it.
I never ice fish far away from a watering hole. If you get my drift, like
I just bring a cooler.
that's smart. But I would always like, man, let's go get some jalapeno poppers. Let's go get some bar food. It was always a good time. Anyway,
Funny story about that event, and this will all tie in when you talk a little bit about your backstory here. But one of my students, really talented photographer and digital designer, designed the logo for BHA for that event. Yeah, there was the icebreaker logo, had like a little perch on it, blue, state of Wisconsin.
Yeah. I got the sticker on the back of my truck.
Connor Martin, which was he was a senior at the time. He was really into design. I was like, dude, I got asked to do this for BHA. You want to have at it? And he was like, yeah, heck yeah. So he designed that logo for that. That's kind of a cool tie because that's where Bryce went to high school.
that's so cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's a small world because so I met you at Foam Fest. You already knew some of the crew, and then you're like, I do this Instagram page, Wisconsin Weekend Warrior.
Yep.
And I'm following you, and you're like, you're a young man. How old are you?
21. I turned 22 next month.
You're no offense, you're like a baby.
Oh yeah, I know.
Which is awesome. You're way smarter than me at 21. You're doing like all the best stuff. Like I'm watching your Instagram stories, you're fishing, you're up in Canada, you're hunting, you're like putting in all the best, funnest work. I don't know if funnest is a word.
Well, I got it written.
Oh, it is.
So before I ended up with my job that I have now, which I make really expensive trash cans, basically. I'm a cabinet builder, but I make...
Why did you call them expensive trash cans?
Because that's what it is.
That's hilarious.
It's a really, really expensive high-end trash can made out of 100% recycled milk jugs.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they industrial cabinets?
I'm going to need to see this.
Is it going, can I get some of these in my kitchen? What's going on here?
So I've made stuff for Miller Park, Lambeau Field, the Patriot Stadium, the Cubs, just a bunch of big stadiums.
Wait,
and stuff
can
like
you
that.
say where you work? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Or does that matter? I don't know.
I work for the, it's called the Prestwick Group.
Oh, I know they were a client at my old company.
So they do.
I've been there.
really
I've toured
cool.
all their stuff. When you started talking about it, I knew that's what you're going to say. I just wanted to hear you say it.
I just wanted you to say I'm right.
They have like that composite material.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. They grew fast. They have like a whole campus there now.
Yeah, we have
like,
2 buildings.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I used to drive a forklift, but I quit that job because they won't give me off for deer season.
Bastards.
So like
Those guys.
Hey, say that again a little bit slower for the people in the back. Why'd you quit your job?
they won't give me off for deer camp.
Kids who are listening, take note. This is a smart man.
They really wouldn't give you off.
They would
Don't
not.
you have PTO?
Yeah.
So they're like, well, you can't use it now.
Was that like a seniority issue?
I
Like
have no
people
idea.
already
Did you
took
use too
off?
much of it before? Did you use it up before deer camp?
I used a little bit of it, and they're just like, no, your PTO won't cover your entire thing. I'm like, cool, don't pay me. And they're just like, no, we can't do that. I was like, I will
Yes,
take.
you can.
That's what they said they couldn't do it. So I was like, I'll take the entire vacation unpaid, and I will stay with you. Whatever, just give me a deer season off. There's a holiday in the
I'll
middle.
take a pay downgrade. Let me have deer camp.
Exactly.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's in the middle of it. Please just give me those 3-4 days.
So 3 days before I go up for deer camp, like a week before I put in my 2 weeks notice. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm leaving early because I'm going to deer camp. So when I came back, I already had this job offer from where I work now. And I have a handshaking agreement with the guy who hired me that no matter what, I will get off for deer season and deer camp, even if it is unpaid.
You'll be off no matter what.
Exactly. And I looked him dead in the eye during my interview. I was like, if you ever don't get me off for deer camp, I will quit. No second question. As soon as you say no, I'm gone.
All right, so I'm gonna side story off of that because I just think it's interesting that folks, like-minded folks like us, and probably our listeners, that's such a huge part of what we're interested in. Like we'll determine our career based off it. So as teachers, it's less common for teachers to be hunters, in my experience. I worked in a bunch of different districts. It's not that common. They're out there. They're the science teachers, the predictable ones. Me being an art teacher who's a hunter, that's throwing everyone for a loop. But we did a job interview when I was up in Peshtigo, and we were interviewing for a new music teacher. Our beloved music teacher retired. She'd been there forever. Her name was Marcia. She was wonderful. And we were interviewing people to fill her spot, right? Elementary music. So we kind of had in our mind what kind of interviewees we were going to get. And we get this young man, big, huge dude, 6'4", looks like a bodybuilder. He's got muscles all over the place. And he leaves the interview, and as he's walking around, he turns around and does like a draw the bow and release. And me and the fire teacher are like, did you see that? And he like winked at us, and we're like, I think he's a bow hunter. And like one of us was wearing something that was like a hunting brand, and he noticed that and did this bow thing. And we were like, yeah, we really like that guy. We should bring him back for a second interview. Well, we ended up hiring him. Bow hunting elementary music teacher. He's an amazing hunter. His name's Lane Ludke, also a country music artist. He's got a YouTube following and whatnot.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, super talented, but
multifaceted.
He and I were, he would come up moose shed hunting. We'd go trout fishing together. So we ended up being really good buddies. But in the job interview, has the cojones to draw back a bow at the interview.
That's awesome.
And we were like, we want that guy.
That's amazing. Smart man.
Yeah.
That's great.
The audio is not coming through.
So no one can hear us.
They can hear us. It's just coming through the MacBook speaker because I think like it just, I never resetted stuff. But don't worry, I have it here. So we're just going to keep going. The people watching live are just going to get a shitty audio experience. And that's okay. They can hear us. It's just not going to sound, buttery smooth like the podcast people
probably
hear.
Sound better when it's shitty.
You just sound far away, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I had to say that because I'm going to get these comments and I have to address it. So I'm the asshole that was not paying attention half of that.
This is for this is for the people.
Just panicking over here. You think I would check this shit, but it's always something. It really is literally always going back.
Welcome to the studio, Bryce.
This is it. Like this, that's why we're at the bottom.
Well, I feel your pain because when I went up to Canada, I had this big grand scheme of, I just bought this chest thing to hold my phone so I could record me catching fish. The first
like a GoPro chest cam thing?
I have a spare phone. I don't use GoPros. I just record on my phone. And as I'm walking out to the boat, I'm fiddling with it and I drop it in the water.
Oh, Jesus.
The spare phone?
No, the mount to actually hold your phone. So I was like, oh, great. So now I'm up here for an entire week and all I can do is hold my phone like this.
Who's got a snorkel? We're going under.
Well, the water was like 53 degrees. I was just like, no. That's gone.
Did you try jigging?
I should have tried that.
Just get the new ones have magnets. I bet you if you dropped, you get one of those little magnet things you use for when you drop something in your car engine bay.
It was the phone mount that holds the phone to the chest.
Was that metal?
No, plastic.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I kind of cheaped out.
That's not.
I did end up swimming in the lake, though.
Did you really?
I did. We were at a shore lunch in the middle of nowhere. I was just like, you know what?
I'm going to go in the 53.
I'm going to go. The water's 54 degrees. I'm hot. So I just ended up jumping off the back of the boat.
That'll wake you up.
Did it cool you down?
Very fast.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So you have a new job now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I Prestwick Group is where I'm still with. I've been there for like 2-3 years now.
Got it. So they are cool. They let you have time off for deer camp.
Hallelujah.
Okay. That's a relief. That's nice. And I guess where I was kind of like wrapping everything around is, I don't know, it's somewhere along the way you became a listener of the show and you've already been on the Okayest Fisher podcast, Camp Okayest podcast. You're kind of making your rounds. Maybe you should have started here. So I apologize. Forget the Okayest Fisher guys. That's pretty boring.
Who cares about fish?
Fishing's a great time. They have a good show. What was your initial, I don't know, how did you stumble into this for the listeners? 'Cause I think you already told me, but then what was your perception? And I can't believe you're just like a local guy here in Wisconsin. This is the first time I think we've had a genuine, someone I would classify as an actual listener of the show as our guest. We've had lots of guests. I don't think we've had a dedicated listener on because you're pretty engaged.
Yeah. I listen every day, every time you guys post per week, and I listen to multiple of the shows that are on the network. But I was literally at work when I got the new job. I was actually able to listen to music and stuff like that. So it's cool. Let me get Spotify Premium. And then everybody was like, oh, podcasts. So I ended up just searching deer camp stories and stuff like that. And the first one that popped up was Kevin Vistison with the Deer Camp Tales or whatever it is, the series he did where he's sitting around with his buddies around the campfire at, I think at the time it was called Camp Lady Killer. He had his buddy in the background singing about it and stuff like that. I was like, cool, this is awesome. So and then he mentioned, I think in one of the episodes, Okayest Hunter. I'm like, Okayest Hunter. Well, let me search that.
He's probably talking shit about us.
I don't think so.
That Vista.
Find out Kevin.
He's up to no good.
But no, I searched you guys and I was like, Wisconsin. Well, that's awesome. So come to find out, you guys are like half hour away from me. And I just fell in love with there's no ego here. Your heads don't get big. Even if you have, how many followers or whatever, you don't care about it. You're still going to be the same person if you have one follower versus how many you guys have now. And you're still going to keep pumping out amazing content that is just heartfelt. I can tell via all your posts that you actually put your heart and soul into this brand and into this company. And that's what made me fall in love with the Okayest Hunter brand.
Dude, fell in love with is a strong...
Hallelujah. That's you, man.
It's all of us,
that's
though,
the
now.
Work you put in.
You guys are like my... What's the biblical term? Like acolytes? Is that what they're called?
I'm not familiar with
I think
that.
it's a Star Wars show.
Are those fighting words?
I'm not sure.
Is he trying to fight me?
I failed English, so I'm not sure.
You guys are like evangelists,
You watch your mouth, Clark.
Oh boy, I don't understand the word you're saying. Someone take offense to it. Is that from 40-year-old virgin?
Thank you. Maybe.
So yeah, and then you came to you've been to Foam Fest. We talked about that. Like, I don't know. It's just cool that I want to hear more about like how you hunt as someone that I don't know. You've been on the One Hunting podcast, Wisconsin Sportsman.
Yeah, I was talking walleye fishing.
So that was walleye fishing. Okayest fishing. Camp Okayest with Ritter. It was probably fishing.
No, it was actually like spooky hunting stories.
Oh, well, that's a good
Really?
episode. Damn it, how did I miss that one?
Yeah.
On my own network.
It's amazing that Ritter, who's a fisherman, and you, who are quite a fisherman, did not solely talk about fishing.
Did you guys talk about bringing bananas on boats and that was spooky?
No, I hunt a massive state forest, and I talked about encounters with wolves, just random screaming in the middle of the night that I've had.
Up in the Nicolet?
No, Jackson County.
Okay, what is the forest there?
Mass. I don't know how many square feet. It's huge. We've had a deer camp up there since the 70s.
That's awesome.
Oh, damn.
Family camp?
Yeah, just literally during the 10-day Wisconsin gun season, they allow camping on the state forest.
That's amazing.
So we just literally found a hole in the woods, put 2 campers in it, and power off a generator.
You guys go to the same spot every year?
Same spot every single
Wow.
Love it.
That has changed a lot, I imagine.
Nope.
Like the diversity, habitat, the deer density.
Definitely the deer density, from what I've noticed and from what my grandfather, because he's one of the oldest surviving members of the group, he said that back in the day, it was nothing for them to kill 6 deer in 2 days. And now it is to the point where I was the only person to see more than 1 deer, and I was the only person to get a deer in 10 days.
So you're really good at hunting.
No, I just got lucky. I was able to read trails and just set up in an area that I knew historically deer traveled through. And I just set myself up for a morning sit, and I ended up having 3 does walk in, and I punched the doe tag.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. I mean, that's what I would do.
Was that opening weekend?
No, it was actually like 5 days into the season.
Nice.
So,
That's getting tired, too. You're kind of losing hope at that point.
yeah.
At what age did you start going to that specific camp?
So,
Ever since you hunted?
yeah. Ever since I first picked up a rifle to gun hunt, I've been at that same site.
So is that like 12 or?
No, when I first got my hunting license, Wisconsin was still 16. Or no, what was it, 15? I forget. But Wisconsin had a minimum age to where you could actually get your hunter safety license.
Huh.
So back when I got my license, I was still in that. So I ended up going through an in-person hunter safety. And then that following year, Grandpa bought me the boots, gave me a 30-30 and said, here you go. Go out in the woods. And I went up for, I think, 2 or 3 years without, my first year, I didn't even see a deer. Second year, I saw 1 deer. And then third year, I saw a couple deer and ended up filling a tag during T-zone.
Nice.
T-zone, I haven't heard that word in a long time.
That's a tradition for us is every year. If you don't have a doe tag, instead of camping, we get a hotel room. So it's basically going to drink and sit in a hot tub. And then sometimes you go out deer hunting.
But the hot tub feels too good.
Oh,
You
it's
just skip
great.
deer hunting.
Well,
Yeah.
that time of year up there, it's like, is it going to be 10 degrees? Is it going to be minus 10? Is it going to be minus 40? And then you go out and you come back. It's like, you know what sounds really good? A mixed drink in a hot tub. And you don't go out for the evening hunt.
Yeah, you come back for lunch. You're like, it's pretty cozy here.
Yep.
I'm not sure that you would have noticed the effect just because you're younger, but like I'm sure you've heard your dad or grandfather or uncles or whatever, like in those kind of camps, in my experience, because there's been those kind of family camps up in the Nicolay and in areas, and we always used to stop in and like see how the Johnson group, like let's go see what the Johnson group got on like Monday when like opening weekend's done. Let's take a ride.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do some like road hunting, see what's going on. Let's stop in and we like stop by these groups and like see what's on the meat pole, see what they're seeing. Have you noticed or heard so over the last years, like just the amount of people that like I'm sure you've had interactions with, like has that number gone down, gone up? Has it changed the amount of people you see? Like,
So I see very limited people. The only people that come through is some of the locals doing deer drives. My grandfather said back in the day, it was, there was, like you said, the Johnsons over here, the people over here that are camping on the state forest are the same as us. Now we're the only people that do it. We're the only people there that do it. And we went to the DNR station because you have to register at like a campsite.
Is this legal? Are we doing something wrong?
No, it's completely legal.
Are you sure? No, I'm just saying like no one else is doing what we're doing. Are you sure it's still okay?
Yeah. But simply due to forest fires, the possibility of forest fires, we still have to go register like, hey, there's people here. So we go to register, and the DNR, one of the DNR wardens, been there for a couple of years. Like, yeah, I know exactly where you guys are. You're here every year. Here you go. I know where you are. But the DNR officer this past year, because one of the first years I actually went up to register the campsite instead of helping set up camp, said we were the last people that still camp on the state land there.
it's kind of sad.
Yeah, that's a little sad. It's also kind of nice for you guys,
Oh, it's great.
but you're missing out on a little bit of that component of that camaraderie. Like, what did you see? How did it go? And even though no one wants to tell, they almost always do.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the bar's for.
It just takes a couple of beers. Right?
Well, actually, I did see a pretty big buck, and they start opening up.
If somebody offers you a beer, right? You said, yeah, we haven't been seeing much. And they say, oh, you want a beer? And then like, you're like, well, shit, now I got to tell them a little bit.
I got to tell them I'm not seeing anything.
You got to tell them that I saw that ermine running around and that one
I saw a
jackrabbit.
mink today and a sparrow.
Yeah. Hey, that mink, that's a good find, That'll entertain
So
you.
there's not
for
a lot of gunshots on the opener around your
I
area
think
then,
this past opener I counted 10.
and not within anything super close.
No.
Jeez, that's interesting.
And we all hunt, like my uncle hunts like a mile from me. My other uncle hunts like another mile and a half from me. When I shot my doe, nobody knew I shot it because they couldn't even hear my gunshot. That's how widespread we are on this public land. And like, hey, did you see anybody today? He's like, no, I heard a truck drive past, but I haven't seen anybody in the woods.
Man, you're going to be flocking that area now that you've been on this podcast.
Has that,
Oh, there's no deer. So
Eric kind of mentioned it before, but has the landscape of the state forest you're hunting, has it been logged? Has it been changed?
So
Have you had windstorms? Like, is it pretty much what it's been since you started?
Yeah. Except for this past year, they started re-logging. They logged some of the portions. My uncle had a tree stand that he's had for like 20 years. Well, they just chopped this tree down. So he had to find a new spot. So they were logging a lot of areas up there, which I'm hoping, fingers crossed, will help with, fawn survival rates and stuff like that.
It will.
And then, in the next couple of years, hey, guess what? I'm going to put a tree stand right there and here come the deer. But deer hunting up there is much different than it is down here. What I've noticed.
Totally. I mean, I wouldn't know anymore because I haven't been up north in about 20 years or something, but which is really sad to think about. I always had plans, said, I'm going to go back up north one day and hunt up there, and I never do it.
Yeah.
I also I haven't heard, unless you're Derek Melchor and you can sniff out a buck in like the vast terrain of the Nicolay. Most people are like, I have no idea what I'm looking at up there.
I was lucky enough to, like I said, my grandfather's been hunting there since the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows the woods like the back of his hand. So I started off hunting over my uncle on this one piece, and I was like, I'm just going to head down this way, down this logging road that comes to a T intersection. And I just headed off to the left. He went off to the right. And I was like, oh, cool. And I started picking up on deer sign, and I ended up like cool, this is my section now. Nobody can come back here because it's every year rubs, scrapes, everything like that. And one of my first years actually up there bow hunting. My first ever deer with a bow. I got myself into bow hunting. Nobody else in my family really bow hunted.
That's a hard thing to do.
That is a hard thing to do because, I mean, if I think about my journey, and I'll let you get to yours, like it was, my dad kind of like forced me into it. I'd asked for a gift card to go rock climbing and got me a gift card to an archery shop. And I was like, what?
Almost.
And then thank God he did. Like that, he probably had known you're going to probably want to do this a lot longer than whatever that is. So like, if I didn't have that, I don't know if I would have found my way into it or not, actually.
So my grandfather was into archery. And he gave me my first bow. It was an old Browning compound bow. And the day I got it, I broke the peep sight on it. The tube, it was one of the old, like a surgical tube.
Yep.
Broke off. I just never got it fixed. So I learned how to shoot instinctively with a compound. And that was the first way, with 2 fingers as well. No release, anything like that. And that's how I learned how to get into archery. And I was like, I like deer hunting. I like archery. Why don't I combine the two? And my grandpa never taught me about deer hunting or archery hunting because he was like, I just shot competition. I shot paper targets. So I got myself into bow hunting. I ended up getting an old Martin. Was the first actual like hunting pound bow that I was actually able to hunt with. I think it was like 55 pounds. And I ended up just sitting on a chair with some old blind from the 60s around me. And I saw my first deer doing it. I was like, I'm addicted.
Oh my God.
Like that. I was just like, this is awesome. I want to do it more. So my grandpa eventually was like, here, I'll give you my old bow, which was it was a Cabela's Guide Series something or other, but it was made by PSE. It was the bow I brought to Foam Fest last year. It was 60-pound draw, stuff like that. And I was just like, cool. We got it reset up for me. And I got some I don't even know the name. They're called Black Mamba arrows.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
My mom got me a pack of Slick Trick Viper broadheads. I'm like, cool. Now I got a deer hunting
full
bow.
setup. Yeah.
I got a full setup. And my grandpa's like, you gonna hunt with it? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna tell your uncles to buy crossbows. That way I have more excuses to go drink beer in the woods. So we go up north to deer camp, and first year, it's my first year ever up there, and I watch, a bunch of hunting videos and stuff.
Now, is
like
this
that.
for archery?
Archery, yeah.
Archery season. I didn't know you guys did a deer camp for archery season. That's cool.
We do. We stay at it's a campground because the state forest isn't open, but we usually do at least one weekend of the year up and hunt the public state forest.
The same area?
Same area.
Awesome.
Yeah. We actually park the truck usually in our old campsite or in our campsite. Like, this is ours. So we park there and then you just kind of branch off and go wherever you want. And it was I think it was my first year hunting public because the year before I got a small doe, like a yearling doe with my bow. I was incredibly proud of myself. Like my first
You
ever
should be.
was a yearling. I'm like, whatever, this is awesome.
Heck yeah.
And I was like, I'm hooked for life. This is now my jam. So I begged my grandpa, like, can we go up north? Can we go to deer camp? Can we go to deer camp? So he conned my uncles into buying crossbows. My uncle went off the deep end and bought a Raven. My other uncle...
Off the deep end. They are expensive.
Yeah.
They're nice.
My other uncle...
That's a commitment.
Yeah. Well, to not shoot a deer in like 6 years, yeah, it's a commitment.
You're going to shoot one now with that fucking expensive
Oh, I know.
crossbow, and you're probably not going to miss.
Yeah. So we go up there, and it's my first year, and I must have timed the rut just right, because I'm looking over, and there's an overhanging branch with a scrape underneath it. I was like, I think a deer made that. So I set up like 20 yards off of it, literally just in a lawn chair with camo on. And it's a morning sit, and I hear a doe come running past me, and I'm like, oh, cool. I saw a deer. Successful hunt. And I'm like, well, why is she running? So all of a sudden a little spiker came in, head to the ground and stuff like that. And he's 15 yards in front of me, just broadside. He looks up at me, goes back down to the scrape, back down to the scrape, and I drew back.
He was like, that guy's just lounging, obviously. He's not hunting.
Yeah.
This is a lounge chair.
Right?
He's lounging.
Exactly. So I drew my bow back, and I ended up making a great shot right through the pump house, and he went 15 yards.
Hell yeah.
And
That must have been like one of the best feelings.
It was great.
On the ground.
On the ground. And, I had tree stand hunted with a rifle before, and I never really liked it. So I really went into ground hunting, and just the challenges that come with that is, okay, when do I draw? Stuff like that. And I've been busted multiple times. I got that spiker, and it was like 3 years before I got another deer with my bow, which is my property in Sussex. And the year before, I had a run-in with a buck, and it was the same thing. I grunted him in, and he came into 6 yards, busted me, and ran off. I saw that buck 3 times in a row. I'm like, there's something to this property of him coming into the rut and then filtering back out. So the next year, I was like, cool, I'm going to keep doing this. Ground hunting's obviously working for me.
Yeah.
Why would I get a tree stand? Plus, there's no trees for me to set up in. And I ended up running into a buck once. He busted me, and I'm like, the next day, you're going down. And I heard...
Were you calling when you had the encounter with him?
Yeah, I was grunting. Yep.
So they're just rutted. They want to come investigate.
Yep.
So you kind of knew that and used that to your advantage.
Yep. Yeah. So
Smart.
as soon as I sat down, I heard a grunt, and I messaged.
So your heart's like off. They're looking at you like, I'd be like, look at my smartwatch. Well, my heart rate's in red.
Yeah. And I sat down. I just sat down. I heard the grunt, and I'm, where's my grunt call? So I grunt back to him, and I didn't even have an arrow knocked when I heard it. So I sat down on the ground. I don't even think I was against a bush. I was just sitting on the ground. No backrest, nothing. And I knock an arrow. This is back when I was shooting method, because I actually went to method arrows because of you guys.
Yeah. Damn it, Isaac.
So I sat down, grunted, and all of a sudden I hear crunch, crunch. And here he comes, like 6 yards. I have never in my life drew a compound bow back as fast as I drew that bow back, got on target, and fired. It was like an old Western movie, and you see him
like
shooting
a
off.
quick draw?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know
Your
where
adrenaline totally took
Peep
over.
sight, fucking peep sight.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what happened, because
Did you shoot from the hip?
Did you ever find the arrow? Did it just like blast through into
It went
another?
straight out. I did find the arrow.
How far did you find it?
It was like 15 yards past him.
Nice.
And that was with a 60-pound bow.
Punch right through.
It did. So I called my buddy, Andrew, who I post a lot of videos with him. He went to Hamilton as well. Or, I don't know how that works. And he was like, well, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I have no recollection of what happens. I heard a thwap, and that is it. He's like, okay. I think you hit him. I was like, well, I'd hope so. He was 6 feet in front of me.
But then after that, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I ended up calling him and my uncle, and I'm just freaking out because it was, looking back, it's nothing giant, but I don't hunt for the antlers. I hunt for the experience.
Well, when they're 6 feet away on the ground, it looks giant.
He did.
Like the body's right there. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I could have reached out and poked him with my arrow.
Yeah.
And I ended up making a perfect double lung shot. I think he went like 60 yards.
Geez, he's pumped full of it.
Yeah, he was stinky.
Something bit me.
Yeah, he was really stinky. And we ended up finding him, and it's just another reason I'm just addicted to it.
So looking back at it now, when you walked in, sat down, heard him grunt, do you think that he heard you? Do you think he was close, heard you walking?
Oh, 100%.
And then thought you were another deer and then was grunting at you? And then as soon as you hit the grunt,
100%.
he was on you like a fly on.
I was literally
shit.
like, I told my grandparents, okay, I'm going hunting. And then 20 minutes later, I'm calling them that I got a deer.
Yeah. When they get in that mindset,
It's insane.
They will fight a car, they will fight whatever.
They turn into turkeys, like how turkeys will peck the back of your car if it's shiny.
That's true. I've seen it.
Yeah.
That's exciting. The rut hunting, I know some of like the known mature buck killers are like anti-rut because it's too much chaos. They can't deploy their perfectly laid out plan. I love it.
I don't ever.
I also like the time of year.
It's great.
It's more than just the chaos of the rut. That's like probably the biggest component. But like when you're talking about when you fell in love with bow hunting, how that felt for you and what that was like for me. I had started as a gun hunter, so I was always just this big orange blob. I felt like the kid from A Christmas Story that fell over and couldn't get back up. Like I couldn't bend limbs. Every time I climbed a tree, it was like this clunky, ridiculous process.
Couldn't get your foot up to the next step.
I had these moon boots on.
Bulky.
Everything was, and then I was like, bow hunting seems like, I feels like I can go be a ninja. I can wear camouflage and like there's not negative 15-degree temps with snow on the ground. It's like leaves and fall and crisp air.
It's great.
That whole mixture right there, and knowing maybe if you get it done, you can watch a football game with a beer in your hand.
Oh, it's great.
It's just incredible.
That's
what I romanticize about in the hunting stuff.
Well,
like
for my deer camp, we have an antenna on our camper, so we get
you can get the Starlink shit nowadays.
Well, that's too high tech. We have an antenna to watch the weather, which even then the nearest weather station is like 20, 30 miles away from where we camp. So it's okay, cool. This is a crapshoot. But we have a radio. So it's morning hunt, come back, listen to the Packers, go back out hunting.
Yeah.
And it's awesome just coming back to camp. You know, sometimes there's a deer hanging up. It's like, why would anybody else want any other hobby other than this? Because this is literally
it's magical.
Life.
What are you going to say,
It's
Derek?
very hard to explain.
That's the cool part, right? And like now at my age, telling my kids when we go to the cabin and they want to like watch Netflix or they want to watch their show, and I'm like, that's not up here. That's not here. We don't watch movies here. Like that's not what up north is for. Go outside. Like I totally like that's like that whole essence of like what it is. Like that's what makes it beautiful. And like,
oh yeah.
As parents, you sometimes want to like provide more, but like no, like that's
sometimes
the beauty
less
of
is
it.
more.
Is like the genuine part of it. What I was going to mention before is like that part that gets you like hooked. That like that romanticized feeling for me is you were talking about the rut. November morning when it's frosty in the morning, we get that hard frost. When you hear walking in the leaves, that you know it's a deer, but like you haven't laid eyes on it yet. That for me, those moments before you see it, where it could be anything.
Could be anything.
You know, like those are the moments for me that like give me freaking goosebumps.
Well, and then it turns out to be
you
a
hear
squirrel.
it and you're like, oh my God. And you just know it. Or like if you see a doe and she's walking, all of a sudden she stops, but you still hear feet. And you're like,
oh my God.
Oh my God. Like that's my romantic version of it. That's what gets me going.
I get seasonal depression in the summertime. And it was very hard explaining to other people, like,
don't worry, that'll be the post tomorrow.
I do. I really do. Because wintertime, I do more in the winter than I do the summer.
Yeah.
I hate the heat.
I like extremes.
Yeah, you run in the heat and then.
But I also like winter. Bon Iver got me into winter in a weird way. I was in school full time. I was working full time. And I was young. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a wife. I lived in an apartment with my buddies. So it was like, you know, that was the life I was living. Bon Iver is the band. And one of their
From
songs.
Wisconsin,
he wrote the fucking song in a cabin in northern Wisconsin. He locked himself in a cabin until he wrote the album.
Oh,
And it was the dead of winter. And so all the music videos that you can
are
see
super fucking depressing.
they're snowy, they're super depressing. But I was like, man, I'm in this damn state. It's winter like more than it's not. I could just piss and moan and complain, or I could go I took up snowshoeing, cross country skiing. That's when I learned how to ice fish. I had everyone that I knew to start taking me. I got so into ice fishing, it was disgusting. That's all I wanted to do. I was like, I bought all the VMC shit, all the tungsten stuff. I was in it. I don't have any stuff anymore. I don't ice fish because.
Raise your hand if you've ever cross-countryed into a deer hunt. Cross-country skied in.
Yeah,
Probably about
your
6
shoe
times.
break or something.
The last time I did it, my freaking boot broke off my ski when I was the furthest back point possible.
Did it actually get you? Was it a more efficient way to go about it to be dicking around with all that stuff? Cross-country skiing is a lot of work.
Oh,
I get chafage.
I couldn't have gotten to where I was.
That thigh
without
rub?
them. There's no way I could have got there.
I was like,
snowshoes.
what happened to my thighs?
Snowshoes could have worked, but snowshoes are a lot harder, to be honest.
Yeah, they're in pain too. Unless you just like some open, we're not out west.
I snowshoe. Yeah. I once cross-country skied 4 miles down a snowmobile trail with my stand.
Yeah.
Because it was so easy. When you're on like if you can cross-country ski, like Jesus, it was freaking cake. But then, like, I got off the snowmobile trail. I was like, I only have like 150 yards to go. And the snow was like this freaking deep. My short legs, I was like, this is the worst. So I only had like 150 yards to go, but that part sucked.
And they're like, I got these damn skis. I got to use them now.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I always like an adventure.
Oh yeah.
The adventure part gets me too. And usually up north or whatever, it just, there's more too, because more can go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think when more can go wrong, it feels more fun for some reason.
It certainly does.
I don't know what's wrong with me. That's probably not safe.
That's like the idea of like the Canadian fishing, like I'm away from everything. Like you're more counting on yourself.
Yeah.
Like you are
everything matters more. Yeah.
Yeah. It just heightens everything. And that makes you feel more human and more in touch with nature.
So I'd like running the heat. Maybe I could just pass out. I run really far. Now I have to run back. Yeah, my wife gets mad. Did you forget that you had a life back here in the middle of your run? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I was going pretty far. It's not like I can teleport back. Sorry, I just didn't think about the way back part. So I went 5 miles out, and I guess I had to come 5 miles back.
Shit, I thought I was running in a circle. I wasn't.
That probably would happen to me, actually. I get lost a lot. That's cool, man. You got some good Wisconsin, like just you're hitting all the Wisconsin deer camp notes. And do you early season archery hunt? Are you getting any cams out? I know you just came from the swamp.
I did.
So because of the property I have, cams don't make sense because I can't pattern my deer because it's a filter through property.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally
Smart
just
that you know that.
coming in and then leaving, coming in and leaving. They're not staying there unless they're just taking a quick nap and then they're gone. I'll run cams just to say, oh, cool, look, a deer.
Yeah, I like that part.
That's about the only reason I do it.
If I can have an excuse to look at deer more, that's a good thing to do.
I don't even set the dates or anything on my cameras. I was just like, oh, cool, a deer was here. Like that's all I do. But opening day to closing, I deer hunt, and I love it. It's really hard to explain, and all my friends that don't do it or just anybody, it's really hard to explain to them why I love it and why I'm so into it and willing to quit jobs to go do it.
This is an obsession. What's your appetite for suffering? Like early season sucks.
Early season does suck, but I'll also go ice fishing when it's minus 25 degrees just to catch a crappie. So I embrace the suck, and it's cool. You know, it's going to suck, but I know if I'm out there on the couch, I can't go kill a deer. Mm-hmm. I can't go have an adventure. I can't go see wildlife. I can't go watch the sun rise and watch the world wake up around me as I'm sitting in a blind or on the ground watching literally the world wake up.
It's pretty cool. We all have that realization as hunters that like maybe hikers do this. I don't know if they do. I feel like I've never heard a hiker be like, I get to watch the world wake up around me. Because as a hunter, when you're ambushing something, you have to act like you're not there.
Yeah.
Which means you have to get there before anything knows you're there to settle in, to make it feel as though you were never there. And then you're just still and quiet. And you're conscious of your breathing being too loud, which is asinine because an animal's not going to hear you breathing. I mean, maybe if I'm after a run.
They've heard me a couple times.
But
they'll hear me unwrapping a honey bun, but
yeah. What's that squirrel doing over there?
He's eating another little Debbie.
This past bow season, I actually had to bribe a red squirrel to leave me alone because he was sitting
Tell me more.
He was sitting there.
Psychos.
Again, ground hunting. I was set up in between two deadfalls, which 3 years before I had 2 deer encounters in like
that was his
minutes.
home.
Exactly. And I look up and it's just like there's a red squirrel sitting there chittering at me. He's just for like half an hour. He's just sitting there screaming at me.
Like that?
Yes.
Oh, that's the worst.
I was like, oh great, now everything knows where I'm at. So I unwrap a honey bun and I chucked it at him. Oh, part of it actually. I chucked part of it at him and he runs off and starts eating it. And then he goes up and starts chittering again. I'm like, I wonder how far I can throw this. So I just chucked it as far as I could and he followed it. And he just left me alone for the rest of the hunt.
That's a seldom used deer hunting tactic, but one that I will employ this year.
Eric, I was making fun of you on that post yesterday.
I know. Eric Tasker messaged me. He's like, you're always the voice of reason. I was like, I didn't actually say that.
No, I made it up. But it might as well be real.
It was perfect.
You don't snack. I learned this the other day. And I was like, what? I mean, like, it's a pretty big deal. Like, I got to have an activity within the activity. Potential. I got to have some. But now you could bring some honey buns to keep the squirrels away.
I'll bring them just for the squirrels.
And you're like, well, there's no squirrels, and I know there's a honey bun in there.
Exactly.
Then you get this like, then it's like the clock starts, and you're like, fuck.
You see the time ticking down. In your
How
head?
long can I go?
Yep.
Oh fuck!
I'm gonna eat it.
I'm the same exact way. It's rifle season. Honey buns are essential. It is every year at the shopping list. Item number 1 is a large box of honey buns.
Oh, mine's
or
a
2.
Bush latte, like a case of Bush.
Those are good. Those are good. But honey buns is number 1 because I got a vest. I got a jacket that I got 2 little pockets on the outside here. And I got a pocket on the inside. And as
Are they
I walk,
specifically honey bun pockets?
I got a honey bun pocket.
Okay, that's good. I love that.
This reminds me when I proposed to
Honey
my
bun
wife because no one tells you as a man.
Did you propose with a honey
I
bun?
could have.
Okay.
But it worked. Looks like a ring. And all the good stuff's in the middle. No one tells you, like, you see all these commercials when you're a kid and it's like the man gets down and he opens up the box. Yeah. Well, the fucking box is huge. I'm like, what am I going to do with this box?
You can't put it in your pocket.
Where do people put this thing? What? I'm like, and if I have the ring out of the box, I'm going to lose it. It's a ring. And now I'm terrified that it's going to like slip out of my pocket.
You put it in a honey bun.
I'm panicking. So I ended up not. What did I do? I had it in the box. I did have it in the box. I had it in a hoodie sweatshirt and I was like acting pretty sketchy. So
I had to make sure it was fall so it would make sense from the wear a
Are
hoodie.
you packing heat, Eric?
yeah, she's
What
like,
are you
what's
doing in
going
that
on
hoodie?
with you? I was like, nothing. Why are you sweating? I'm not sweating. Oh, it's crazy. It's terrible. The whole thing was a disaster. She said yes. I don't know why. Probably a lot of regret. But I do this with my snacks. I'm like, should I unwrap it or keep in the wrapper? Because if I unwrap it, I don't have to worry about the wrapper. But what if like it gets all this shit on it? Or I don't know. Then I have like these weird debates about what to do with my food. So then I'm like, the carrot thing's a good idea. I like apples a lot in the woods. Because
How do you pack an apple?
you just put it in your backpack with all your
It's
shit.
all bruised.
It's not that bad. I don't know.
Put it in the
Put it in
fridge.
your pocket. Put it somewhere. Put it in your hand pouch warmer thing. I'd use those.
I don't
hand
have an
pouches.
apple pocket. Jesus, I need an apple
See,
pocket.
I was always handed like hand-me-down gear.
I think you say food.
Back.
That's for Cheetos are from 1970.
I have found
There's
old,
2 left in there. It's a good one. One of them's big.
I have found like old bullet casings, old beer cabs. I found an old beer can once that still had the square opening
No
inside
shit,
one of my old
the
hunting
tab?
jackets. Yeah.
Oh,
Inside one
wow.
of my
I
old
hope
hunting
it's still
jackets.
in there.
It is.
That's a good luck charm. Yeah. Can't get rid of it now.
So I had one of those high hand warmers that you always see Packers players with. That are like
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
muff. That's what I love. The muff.
That's where I put my honey buns.
Ooh, yeah.
But
put
you
them
have
in
to
with
wrap a
hand warmer.
honey bun because they're sticky and gooey.
I can leave them in the wrapper. Then you unwrap them in there.
But like,
It's
would it be
quiet.
better in like a freezer bag that's not as crinkly?
That's too much work.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about.
See, I'm thinking gun season.
See-
I put it in the inside pocket, so when I sit down, it's warm.
This is why you forego it altogether. You're like, nope, too much distraction.
This is too much. I'm fucking hunting, guys. That's my activity while I'm hunting. Is
Yeah, I'm
hunting.
eating while I'm hunting.
But what I am thinking about is like when I open, I always bring a Mountain Dew just because that's what my dad does.
Okay.
I don't even like Mountain Dew that much. It's so sweet. But I figure I can use the sugar because I haven't eaten anything.
Yeah, you go
In hours.
hypoglycemic or something.
But I'm like, I'm opening this Mountain Dew and I'm like, I'm fairly positive that I'm in the top 1% tier of people who could open this as quietly as possible. No one is opening a Mountain Dew as quiet as I am.
Yeah, 'cause you
like,
gotta
I've got
you
the
should get your grunt
science.
call and be like,
Like I'm doing like I'm doing like 16ths of an inch breaks, and I'm like letting scanning. Nothing is hearing this shit, bro.
See, your countdown's a little bit different. Like, okay, I'm thirsty now, but I won't be able to drink until 5 minutes because it's going to take 5 minutes to get this gap to
it's
go
gonna
with no
take
pressure.
7 minutes 43 seconds, Eric.
Oh,
Do your
boy.
homework.
when should I start to open this Mountain Dew?
But here's what happens. I'll open it so quiet, right? Have a drink. Then I'll have to piss, and the buck always comes out when I'm pissing. Or
Well, that's the
something
formula.
stupid.
It won't come if you don't have to piss.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you gotta
It's
have
like,
your wiener in
okay,
your
I got to get
hand.
ready for this. Like, I will shoot a deer with my dick out. I would totally do that. I'd be like, I would just still be peeing and let it happen.
I think that's probably the best case scenario.
Like,
Peeing with bow in hand. Like, I hope I don't pee on my bow, but if something comes out, I swear I'm ready.
I'm not worried.
Jared Scheffler told me a story I think it was at the trade show in the Dallas this past year, or this like last March. We were in
Yeah.
the parking lot. I was helping carry him stuff in. I was like, dude, Jared. He's like, oh, I got all this stuff. I was like, well, let's carry it in. And then I don't know how the story came up, but he shared the story where I I don't remember any other details other than the punchline was he was stalking this buck for a very long time, doing his army crawl, ground and pound stuff that he's known to do. And he's like, oh my God, I have to pee so bad. And he's like, I can't ruin it now. I've come this far. And so he's like, well, you can wash clothes. So he's just laying there. He just pissed himself.
Yes!
To get it done. And he got back to camp and they're like, what happened? He's like, well, I thought I was going to get the buck.
Deer hunting things.
He just peed himself instead. And I was like, dude, that's dedication.
I've always been a Jared Scheffler fan, but now I'm even more a Jared Scheffler fan.
That made me remember one of the first things I heard any of you guys say, and that was the sky dump.
Oh, that was a Brian Douglas.
Do you need one or no?
Nah, not yet. I've got like half left.
Well, I'll just leave it here in case you need it.
So that was one of the first things I ever heard you guys say.
I'll tell you
Talking about
this.
saddles was the sky dump.
I'll tell you this. That was not our idea. You know whose idea that was?
Brian.
That was Brian.
Brian Douglas.
That was Brian Douglas from Illinois. That son of a bitch, sky dumping all over the public land that I hunt on, ruining all my spots. He's only sky dumping in my spots.
Did you imagine sky dump diarrhea? How bad that would be? Just
Oh, no.
Is that why they're making all the saddles mesh nowadays?
they're easier to wash than washing.
You just blast right through them. When you don't have time, you
It holds
just
solids.
I call that a cheese grater.
Oh, no.
Came out whole, but it didn't land that way.
These look like 100 little poop worms. It's the cheese grater shit from the Latitude Method 3.
They should just April Fools put like one hole in the middle of the thing.
But like all like
If your
like
turds
sewed and like gusseted
perfectly. Yes,
all
yes.
around.
You pictured it exactly how I
Chamfered
did.
on the engine, so it's like a funnel.
It's
We're all seeing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
there's like a little spot where you can put the TP roll right there. What's that little thing right there? That's for my TP.
It locks onto the molly webbing.
Yeah. Do you guys? Okay, so dude wipes are like flushable. I didn't know this till recently.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was like why they work. It's like this.
I don't have a
It's
toilet.
baby wipes for adult dudes that you can flush down the toilet that also are like biodegradable. They break down like toilet paper. So you could, I think, and I would wait for someone to correct me in the comments here, but I'm
really
pretty sure
to hear what
you can just leave them in the woods like toilet paper in your poop hole.
The scent. They're scented sometimes.
Well, yeah, but just make sure you're not. The shit is scented.
That's true.
Like, what are we talking about? Of course, it's the whole situation is a scent. Don't poop where you eat.
Don't shit where you hunt.
But I'm just saying, when usually it's like we pull up in the truck and it's like, damn it, I got to shit now I'm in the woods. Like, why is this happening?
So I'm not going to name names on this one because it's too sensitive of a situation. But one time,
Oh, no.
I walked a friend of mine, a person that I know very dearly.
It wasn't me.
I walked them into their spot that they were supposed to hunt. This is gun season. We went in early, and this person was in a panic when we got to the spot. And I was like, this is, where we kind of planned out, like, blah, blah. And they were like,
You got to the actual
they were
kill
just like
spot?
looking at me like,
Sweating.
like sweating. And I like, just like,
Could you
and
sense?
I was like, and they were like, are you going to go now? And I was like, should I? And they were like, yes, I really have to shit. And I was like, okay, I'll go
now.
So like, it was an emergency situation. So like, I just left, right? I went to my spot. I was going to like help get things set up, but I was like, okie dokie. I took the hint and I went off to my spot and I went and picked them up like middle of the day, like 1 o'clock or something. I was like, how did it go? And they're like, fucking terrible. And I was like, did you miss one? And they were like, no. Remember when I had to shit this morning in the dark? And I was like, yeah. They're like, I shit straight upwind of this fucking spot. I smelled my shit for the last 7 hours. And I was like, are you for real? And they're like, I can still smell it. It was worse.
Why didn't you move?
That's what I said. I was like, why didn't you go to a different, like, just go to a different tree? Like, I didn't think of that.
I didn't think of that. I just have to suffer with my mistake.
I have a story similar. So one of the first lessons I ever learned at my deer camp was always carry at least paper towel with you.
Yeah. Oh,
At least.
lots.
My uncle is well known for being the camp shitter.
There's always one.
Always.
Maybe two.
So It's opening day.
I'm the camp shitter. I always gotta go to the woods. I can never get it to happen at the damn cabin or whatever. I'm like, oh, everyone's leaving. I'm like, no.
As soon as you see a tree, you're like, ah!
Yeah. It's just like the nerves hit or something.
Sorry, people.
That's how it
See,
goes.
we have an outhouse, or it's a tent with a homemade shitter box.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to be the first one, but you don't want to be the last one out there. Because if you're the first one and it's minus 15, you're stuck to there until you're done. But it's opening day. And all of a sudden I get a text from my uncle. Nothing like having camp ass on day one after 2 hours. I was like, what did you do? He's like, I found a tree at opening light. I was like, you've been here a day? You haven't even been here a full day and you're crapping in the woods? He's like, yeah, I was excited.
The
Like,
nerves
what are you
got
talking
him.
about?
Oh, the nerves got him.
Yeah.
I think it is a nerve thing.
Yeah, of course it is.
I think it happened. We'd go to the bars and I'd be like, I gotta poop. And they're like, dude, what? I was like, because we like a lot of times we're at the bars to talk to women, and then like the nerves hit, and I'm like, excuse me, I know I just learned your name, Ashley, but I have to go to the bathroom.
There's none of that where I go because as soon as we go into the bar, it's all deer hunters.
No, I mean like this is not hunt stuff. This is like
okay.
It was a different life.
I don't know if I've ever pooped in a bar.
I poop everywhere.
Yeah, you do.
I have no shame. If it's
I know
gonna
you
happen.
keep saying it's the cats pooping in this litter box, but I have half a mind to think it might be you.
Pretty big cat.
Wow, that is a...
My kids are like, I don't want to go in a porta potty. I'm like, well, then you don't got to go bad enough. Like, because if you got to go, you don't give a crap what's going on. Like your buddy that's staring at you, like, are you going to leave right now? Because it's like, this is going to come out of my butt right now. Like you got.
My grandpa's a living embodiment of that.
Yeah.
We're in a campground and, we may have got terrible.
Is your grandpa going to kick your ass?
Probably.
Is he going to listen to this episode?
I'm going to make them now.
These idiots.
I'm going to make him now.
So we're in this campsite and he's like, we pick our campsites with vicinity to the bathrooms.
Of course.
And this one was a little further away. So I get back. It was the year I shot that spike.
Okay.
And I'm like, cool, now I get to relax the rest of the weekend because I filled my tag. So I'm sitting back like, where is Grandpa? He went behind the dumpster and took a dump because he couldn't make it to the bathroom.
Dumpster.
That's
So
a likely spot.
it is great.
I've been
But
proud of
the
that
issue
choice.
is there's a hiking trail that runs right in between the two
Oh
of
my
them.
gosh. Did some hikers come upon him or
No, when I'd imagine the next day there were a few.
that smell? Tony Cordero Vienna sausages are still the best hunt snack. I now know what those are thanks to Tony.
They're in a lot of shed hunting videos, to be honest.
Vienna sausages?
Yeah, people bring those as snacks.
Never had one.
The Shed Crazy guys, the what's the other one? It's the big,
Oh, I don't know.
huge
Hushin?
Hushin. Yep, those
yeah.
guys bring them. Tony, I can't say I've ever been a huge Vienna sausage snacker.
I used to do sunflower seeds a lot because it's like an activity. So
Yeah.
I would shove a bunch in my cheek and just work through them. And it was fun. It was something to do. It wasn't like about the food. It was more about like the activity of spitting out a seed and stuff. But then my mouth would get like, my lip would get all fucked up because I would go through a whole bag and it's like, that's a lot of salt to have exposed to your skin for
Only
hours on end.
17,000 milligrams.
What's wrong, Eric? Oh man, I don't know. I mean, like my lips are all.
Do I have any canker sores? And it just looks like a gem, like the inside of a geode.
How many sunflower seeds? The whole thing, guys. I was bored.
All of them.
I've never finished.
And you can't stop.
I've never finished a full thing of sunflower seed.
Me neither.
Yeah, and I suppose it probably took like the weekend, but I'd go through them pretty good. I'd share. I think I had, maybe it was only 2 years ago, I finally got rid of something that had still a lot of remnants of sunflower seeds. Because of the bag situation, I was like, I'll just put them in this pocket. I was like, wow. But like a year later, I'm like, they're still here. Like a mouse never got to it or anything, so it's stored away pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wasn't
I could probably still eat these.
That's the best part about unpacking from deer hunting is, oh, cool! I get to find out what next year what I forgot. So it's like, oh, look at that! I got $20.
Yeah,
$20, some beef jerky.
Well,
every year I
a honey bun.
buy new ammo that I don't need. It's like, oh, I still had 3 cases of ammo in my tote. But it's kind of like you get so excited. You're like, we got to go to the
oh yeah,
store. Let's get some ammo. let's get all the stuff, you know. And next thing you know, you're like, why did I do that? I have all this shit.
I'm gonna make a bad joke here, but it's like buying all the new ammo, assuming you've shot, is like having the old condom in the wallet. Like, better get some more. No,
Yeah, you never used the first one.
Still waiting for me.
Why was that like something that we thought was cool when we were kids?
It was always the thing when you were like really young.
You're just signaling like I do stuff. But really what the smart people know is you don't do anything because no normal person does that shit. Yeah.
But I am a big believer in not having too much ammo.
What else are you so are you into any trapping, upland, waterfowl, like small game? What else are you seem like a pretty outdoorsy dude.
I really like pheasant hunting. My buddy again, Andrew Dow. He really got me into pheasant hunting. It's so much fun walking around, and then we don't use a dog. So you're the driver. And it's like the first time I ever did it, I kicked one up and I dusted one like 30 yards away. I was like, all right, this is sweet. And they taste great. I don't like duck hunting much. I bought a duck boat for last year, and I duck hunted public land around here. I bought like an $800 duck boat, lights, everything like that. It was just like, I'm up at 1 a.m. to go sit in the swamp. I'm good. No.
So that's your limit of suffering.
That's
we talked about this before.
For the reward.
Could you use that boat for deer hunting?
Huh?
You could use that boat for deer hunting.
I could.
I would.
But I could also use a kayak.
You could use the boat with the motor.
True. But then I got to haul the boat out.
You could go in a bigger body of water. You could go to the Mississippi and hunt all that nasty shit.
Well, I can do that in a normal fishing boat.
I suppose.
Not a mud boat or a flat bottom.
You can get some shallow stuff, though.
Yeah,
there's a lot of backwater channels. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, true. I've got a massive, like 12-foot fishing kayak that I actually used to duck hunt one time. And, you know, I was out there duck hunting, and the only duck I ever wanted was a male or a drake wood duck because they're gorgeous. And my first time duck hunting, we had one fly into the spread. My buddy's like, my spot, I take it. Bam.
What?
It was a full plumage male wood duck. I was like, great. Only duck we saw the entire weekend.
Are you guys still friends?
Yeah, we're still friends. But yeah, no, duck hunting is really not my jam. I like duck, but I'm not going to go fight with a whole bunch of different duck hunters for a hole in the mud.
Yeah.
Tyler's getting real big into duck hunting. One of the hosts of the Up Duck podcast. He's a big upland guy.
Yeah.
Traditionally, and I was like, I'm really getting this itch for duck hunting. I'm like, really? All right, interesting.
I think I messaged him with my boat ideas back when I was
Jeff did a DIY. Jeff's one of the other hosts of that show, and Jeff did a big DIY. I think it's one of our best blog articles on our website. Because he's so detailed and specific. He went through like step by step on how he DIY built a duck boat soup to nut. It's a pretty good article.
Well, I'm selling one, so if anybody wants to look at that article, I got a boat for you to follow the steps.
There we go. We can hook this up. 1, 2.
I like it.
Rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting is a lot of fun. I really enjoy both. I enjoy eating both. Therefore, it's a lot of fun. Turkey hunting, I've never.
Careful, you're going to offend some people. Maybe
I might.
I'm not one of them, but
I might.
Offend.
I think I share the same viewpoint as Eric. As it's not as fun as deer hunting.
It doesn't have the gravity of deer hunting.
It doesn't. It's cool listening to them, but at the same time, I could go listen to some birds. Like, I really
I cut out my window at 4 a.m. and hear all the birds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I tried it this year. Again, I got the turkey vest. I got the Weathered Oaks game call, which I love. Matt's great with that stuff. But I got on birds this year. I got really close to one. And it's just, I don't have, the property. I really don't have the public land near me to do it. Therefore, I think this is my last year turkey hunting.
Was your first and your last?
No, it's like my fourth.
Oh, you did
fourth year.
Okay.
It's like my 4th year, and I haven't got one.
Well, you got to get one before you can hang.
I might try.
Let's talk.
It's another protein you can add to your.
It is. 2 years ago, I got my chance at 2, which their heads were too close together, and they were like 40 yards away. I couldn't have taken the shot because of the spread of the shot. I would have got them both. Which, lo and behold, I didn't know in the state of Wisconsin, so long as you possess 2 tags, you can kill 2 turkeys. I found that out this year.
Tony says unfollow. Right when you said you don't like turkey hunting.
Tony said that.
It's cool listening to them, but I mean, it's a bird. I like them. They look cool.
When they're
I'd
gobbling
like to get
off
one.
around you, I think it's pretty cool.
That's really cool. I do enjoy that. But
I just feel so much more relaxed turkey hunting in the sense that like
I don't take it as serious.
No, not relaxed, but yeah, like I don't go tromping around any of my deer spots during deer season.
Right.
Like I'm very calculated. I try to do everything.
There's a lot of stress with
right,
deer hunting.
and it's a lot of stress. Turkey hunting, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like, blah, 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 blah,
Like, if
turkey,
I want to
turkey.
circle
Yeah.
around you 8 times and freaking come in upwind, like I don't care. Like let's do it.
I do enjoy.
So I feel more relaxed in the sense that like I can just hunt. Like
Yeah.
I can just freaking
Yeah.
do whatever I want.
That's the enjoyment is that I'm like,
I can do
dude,
whatever I
scent
want.
control? Pfft.
that's fun.
Kidding me? I'm worried about scent.
I'm like dancing there like this. I'm gonna get you.
See, that part I enjoy, but the property that I have it's got one spot that he burned, which turkeys love burn. I found that out last year because I set up in the wrong spot, and then I look over with binoculars.
They're all
in this
in the burn.
spot I was told to go set up on by my uncle. There's 3 toms sitting there strutting in there. I'm like, oh, cool, great.
They're always strutting. It's like, how dumb are you? What are you even strutting about?
Exactly.
Look at me, I'm a big turkey.
But it's all river locked. So the
Interesting.
land has in between these fields.
You know
so-
anybody with a boat?
Yeah, 3 apparently.
See, it's not river locked. It's like stream. So
Okay.
it's like a small.
Get a pair of waders, dude.
The issue is the turkeys
We're
won't cross it.
you. Okay.
So the turkeys won't cross
They
the
can
river,
fly, kind of.
but they won't cross it.
Greg calls them the B-52 grouse.
I love that sticker. You guys have it's great.
Is that the one with the airplanes dropping all the bombs?
Yeah.
All the turkeys? Yeah.
But I had my first encounter with a tom is we had one, me and again Andrew, who got me into turkey hunting. I got myself into all this stuff. My grandpa wasn't a small game hunter. He was only a deer gun hunter. That's all. So duck hunting, pheasant hunting, anything else has either been Andrew or myself helping me get into it. And we had one hang up at like 40 yards on property I didn't have permission to hunt because he wouldn't cross the stream. He wouldn't fly over the little stream. I'm just like, really? I've got 12.
That's when you get the fishing pole and you go catch some trout. Turkey
Well,
camp was a ton of fun.
I saw those pictures. That
That's
looked like a
awesome.
lot of fun.
Yeah. That made it way more fun. Like that elevated the experience a bunch. Literally camping, being with all our buddies. We didn't get any turkeys. We got kind of close, but
Watching Greg arm wrestle was the highlight.
I posted that today.
Did you really?
I got to check that out.
I did not see that.
I felt like I had
Dude,
to see that.
I
had to put it out there.
instigated the shit out of this. I was like, a couple beers in, I was like, I'm gonna get these guys.
Because
arm
yeah, Matt's
wrestle.
wearing the shirt where he's like, you can just see his guns, you know.
Matt is jacked.
Yeah, but he's been
Matt's
working out or
a
something. He's a
huge
big man, anyways.
He's a huge man.
And then we're like,
Greg's really
I think I was
strong
like,
guy.
we should arm
Greg's
wrestle.
strong.
And then Greg and you guys look the same. You should like compete.
Greg was feeling it a little bit around the campfire. It's like, man, you guys got an arm wrestler or something? And then sure as shit, here we go.
Well, who won?
It went on for a while. They didn't finish. They're
It was like a
right-handed.
13-minute arm wrestle.
Dude, they were just talking. I was like, at this point, you guys are just holding hands. And then they gave
It was
up
really cute.
on righty, and
we
they
got a picture.
They switched to the left, and then Matt eventually won. And then I went in
But
like
then
the
you know who wanted
jackass.
a piece? Eric Clark.
I get really competitive, but then Matt let me win, which
You
is
were
bullshit.
so mad.
I was like, you can't let me win. That's not fair.
Well, like you went for a few minutes.
Yeah,
you
but
went
then
for a
he
while.
just- I
and
could
then
tell he
Matt
just
let
gave
you
up.
Win, and then you were so mad. You were like, "Fuck you! You don't let me. You don't let me. Oh, you let me win."
I think that means he was going to win.
You could have fought a gorilla at that moment.
Oh, this is pretty fired up.
It's good times.
Yeah.
That's what any camp is all about.
Yeah, it's
you know?
all the camps. So we need to do grouse camp up in
We've
my
talked
parents'
about it for
cabin.
like 2 years now. So
Bryce
we got to do it.
can come,
Yeah.
and we really need to do it. We'll just pick a weekend in October when it's like
Book your cabin yourself. Like, why did you say it so
Airbnb.
meanly? I didn't mean it like that. Like, book your cabin yourself. But like,
I'm terrified of grouse.
what do you mean?
that's why we shoot them.
what do you mean you're terrified of them?
Because
The
they
amount
scare
of
the
times
shit
when-
out of you, dude.
Yeah, they do. They
walking-
really fly up out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
exactly. Walking into the woods in the middle, like dark. And I have wolves to deal with up
Call them
there.
a heart attack bird.
So I have a pistol on my hip, and all of a sudden, I'm over there reaching for my pistol for a grouse.
Well, you could shoot one.
My family friend did last year, and we fried them up and ate them. Delicious.
That's what you're supposed to do, right?
A wolf?
Yeah.
No, grouse.
No, you gut shot the wolf. It died somewhere else.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I always
Sorry.
carry one small game. I do carry a field point with me just in case I do see a grouse.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like I had one walk in front of me and it's just like it was like at 40 yards. I'm like, it's a little bit further than I want to shoot. Because I try to take shots in further than 30 yards just because my confidence is way further. Like I can shoot a target.
Your
at 40
ethics are
yards.
good in that range too. Like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing like less can go wrong. Especially I just got a new bow. So my arrow is going a whole heck of a lot faster than what it was with 60. I went up to 70 now. So
Nice.
arrow's going a lot faster.
Feeling more confident now?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Last year my arrow blew through the back of the shoulder and then went through the rib cage of the buck I shot. And now that I've increased 70 pounds, I'm just like, nothing's stopping this. So obviously if I hit the shoulder ball, but
yeah.
That's exciting. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. So you got lots going on. How do people find your channel? Like, cause you have one and you're putting out a good chunk of like pretty unfiltered content, which is why I think I appreciate it so much because it's just incredibly real and authentic. There's no filter between what we're seeing and what we're getting. It's just what we're seeing and getting is that's it right there.
That's partially why I wanted to make it. Ever since I was young, I grew up with, local Wisconsin guys, John Gillespie, Larry Smith Outdoors and stuff like that. And growing up, Babe Winkleman, people like that growing up, and they always felt real to me. And ever since I was young, we have pictures of me like at 3 years old in a fishing basket or a laundry basket with a fishing rod, pretending I was on TV and stuff like that. And my aunt and my uncle and all my family members was like, you need to start doing this stuff. And they really encouraged me to go for this. And ever since I started, I think I started like 2 years ago now, posting videos online seriously. I've just always been trying to be real about it and help people, which is the main reason I wanted to get into it, is to help people get into the outdoors or help people that have questions into the outdoors. And I think one of the best things that ever happened was I had a guy message me like, dude, thank you for these tips. I went out and I caught, this many walleye following what you had said and outlined in your videos. I'm just like, that's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for an ego boost. I'm not doing it to make money. I'm just doing it because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it's an outlet. And I think you have definitely more of like a document versus create style, which is very appreciated. I get really awkward. I remember going out to hang trail cams with you and I was like, Derek, you're with me. Can you do the video thing? Because like something happens to me.
When the camera goes
I don't know. It's okay if someone else is doing it. If I'm doing it, I feel like this need to just vomit words out that don't have anything to do with stuff, which maybe there's entertainment value there and I should lean into it more. But Derek is just more natural and comfortable. I feel like if someone's watching me, it's going to be like, Jesus, what? Oh God, I feel uncomfortable too now. They start itching. Like
I won't say that. The Office, the deer hunting thing that was like styled off in The Office was hilarious.
It's different because someone else is holding the camera.
Oh yeah.
If I'm doing some shit, it's gonna be weird.
We need you with a selfie stick.
Selfie stick.
Those Sasquatch selfie AI videos are
those.
my new favorite thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my
They are hilarious.
They're like,
show me as soon as we're
they're
done, please.
so out of control. They're like, oh, it's like a Sasquatch selfie stick. And he's like, I just did a tin of Zin. Oh, fuck. Like he starts puking. He's like, well, that's blue. It's like, I saw some campers and I put a thing of dynamite in their fire. And then it goes off. He's like, oh shit, I think that was too much. Just like the most obscure, out of control things in the Sasquatch vlogs. All AI generated.
Love
Just
it.
so stupid. But also
Those are
gives
so
me some
funny.
confidence. Maybe I could do this thing. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. Make sure people know to find you, Wisconsin Weekend Warrior.
Wisconsin Weekend Warrior.
Okay, is it WI? Is it spelled out? Is it
Wisconsin. It's completely spelled out.
any under hashtag?
Wisconsin _ weekend _ warrior.
Okay.
On Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
All right, which one do you favor? Do you just post
Usually
all three all the
TikTok.
time, or
Usually TikTok.
you got more of like a?
I got more followers and more of a following on TikTok. I try to post one a day on TikTok, usually once a week on Instagram at least.
Okay, cool, man. Well, you guys go follow along with Bryce. He's got some really great content he puts out. He's a pretty down to earth human. I don't think there's a bad bone in your body in terms of like the reason why you're doing stuff. So I think you're a worthy follow on all of those social platforms, but that's not the point of it. It's the point to maybe you'll learn something. And nothing else, you live vicariously through a young man that's having a lot of fun out there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's kind of it. I guess we'll wrap her up. So thanks, man. Thanks, Derek.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.